Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the player ratings. Manchester United 1, Everton 1. A superbly battled 4-point at Old Trafford. Leaves Everton in a nice, comfortable position going into the international break. Not being too bad so far. See, everyone's still talking about Tom Davis. No, listen. As I said in my instant match reaction, fantastic point. Could have been all three. Managers getting every ounce of every ounce of everything out of all the players at the moment, which is good, because obviously when you're missing your best two players, you need to make sure you do that. And maybe that's why, certain players have been let go from the club. Because the manager didn't think he would get that from them. Let's get into it. Jordan Pickford. I thought he had a good game. I've seen criticism of him for their goal. I think it took that little bit of a deflection on its way in. Obviously from that range, smashed in, took a little bit of deflection. I don't think he could have done much about it. He'd already made a great save from Cavani. Great save, pushed it away. I thought his kicking was spot on for most of the game. I don't really think he put a foot wrong. He's becoming a very competent goalkeeper who I think everyone feels like has now got to the level and consistency that we all want him to be at. So no problem with Jordan Pickford whatsoever. I've given him a 7. I don't think he really had too many saves to make either, which is testament to the people in front of him. So I've given him 7. Ben Godfrey, I've given him a 6.5. I thought he battled well. I thought he looked more comfortable just defending a lot of the time, but I still think the position is obviously new to him, and it's not straightforward. The positioning's not straightforward. I think their goal, you could possibly blame the fact, not that he's where he is, it's just that I think he doesn't see the danger quick enough out the corner of his eye, because if he gets there just a quicker earlier, a little bit like Villa's third goal, if he gets there literally like a second earlier, he may get a block in on that, and that's just knowing, that's playing right back, that's looking out the corner of your eye, which sometimes when you play centre back, you don't have to always do that. You're looking ahead of you, and I think there's just that moment. Also, I think when he's like flat-footed, seen in the first half, second half, Sancho left him for dead a couple of times. I just think it's that little bit of flat-footedness, and that might be fitness. I don't know. But he battled hard, won a lot of headers, and he was all right. I just thought there was a couple of times where he could have done better. Same with Luca Dean on the other side. Give him 6.5 as well. I think there was a couple of times he never really got forward. He's not getting us forward as much in this system. No, hang on. By the way, I just never said that it was at fault for the goal. So I don't know why someone's just saying that I thought Pickford. No, I never said that. In the comments, never. It wasn't Pickford's fault. Clearly, just said that. Dean, yeah, he's not getting it forward as much. Tried to a little bit in the first half. But still getting caught defensively, I think, at times. I just think he is. I think defending-wise, I think a couple of times people are getting on the inside of him far too easy. Seen it last week. I think he has to get better at that. I think because he's not getting maybe his forward as much. I thought he was better last week, but he was up against the easier opposition last week. I still think there's a little bit of a an issue there. I'll give Luca Dean a 7. Give Luca Dean a 7. I still think he gets caught out at times, just a little bit flat-footed. There's one in the first half when it's like, you know, a foot race off the mark. I don't think he should be getting beat as easily. So, yeah, I'll give him a 7. Michael Keane defended well, I think. Had one moment early on, Cavani with the header where Pickford made a great save, where he just let him pull away from him, ball watching in front of him and not looking what's around him. But apart from that, I thought he had a good game, solid game. Saw a lot of the danger early on and dealt with it. Was good in the air. Never let himself get into any situations where he was left in a foot race. He looked confident. He looked calm. His passing was fine. Yeah, it's just weird because him and Yerry Mina are probably just still our best partnership. But I think it generally shows more when we know when we need to just defend. So I've given him a 7.5. Yerry Mina 7.5 as well. I thought Yerry was again the same. Nearly got the winning goal. Maybe his feet were a bit smaller. I mean, they'd have to be a lot smaller. Of course, they'd have to be a lot smaller. But unlucky not to get the winning goal, but he was offside. Defended really well. Again, he is our best defender. Doesn't really matter what anyone says, but he is our best defender. I think a lot of people are coming to the, realisation of that. It's about managing him, making sure he's not picking up injuries. I know he's going away on international duty now, which is always a worry. But he is definitely our best defender. He organises, and he knows how to defend, and he wants to defend, and he likes a little bit of argy-bargy. He likes to get into a little bit of, likes to stand up for his teammates, which is good. So we all like to see that. And as long as he stays fit, we sometimes talk about we need a commanding centre-back. I think he is that player. It's about him staying fit and, touch wood, that continues and he stays in the team. And Michael Keane always looks better when he's alongside him. They are our best partnership, and we all want it to be Godfrey and Mina, but maybe that's just a road that Godfrey has to go on to learn how to become a better defender. Playing in different, we all want him to play centre back because he's got the pace, and that could be a partnership. Obviously not for years because Mina's 28 now, is he? So, yeah. So I've given them both 7.5. Both done really, really well today. Into midfield, Alan early on, some of his passes were a little bit wayward. He was giving the ball away a little bit too much. But once he got into the actual having to just break play up, I thought he did really, really well. I mentioned in my Start 11 show about the midfield how important it was, how it was going to be the way counter-attacks were started today. And I just thought him and Decore done so well just to be in there as a partnership, because they are a classic old-fashioned partnership. Rafa Benitez has made it really easy for them, I think. Decore gets around the pitch and Alan just sort of sits and breaks things up, but can also go forward as well. So it's, yeah. But Alan was everywhere today. He really was. He was everywhere today. All over the pitch. So I'm trying to think what to give him, because I don't want to go too over the top, because there were players that were better than him today. I give Alan a 7.5. Yeah. Decore was everywhere, wasn't he? Everywhere. Got an assist for the goal. Had opportunities in the first half. Helped break the play up. As I said, the assist for the goal was fantastic. And he's just becoming the player that we all hoped he would be. He just gets around the pitch now. He's the midfielder we've been missing since Garner. But he's got more to his game than Garner. Because he can get forward and he can get goals and he can get assists. And I just thought he was absolutely brilliant today. He never let them have any moments of peace, really. For me, I think we won the midfield battle today. But just on that, the goal scene, Gray breaking with it, and then Decore keeping up with them, and also having the awareness to move the ball onto Townsend. I just thought he was brilliant. I thought he was brilliant today. So I will give Decore a 8.5. I thought he was excellent today. I really did. I thought he was. I've just been so impressed with him this season. Such a good signing, and Everton really have to be. I know this sounds stupid, but Everton have to be sort of now in the market for the person who comes after him, because we've seen how important it is to have a player like that in our squad, in our team. So they're so important in football now. That midfielder who's can get round the pitch so well. So he was excellent today. He was really, really good, Decore. Anthony Gordon was his bar today. He got to a level today where it was like, this is what we expect from you every week. And it wasn't a case of like, he was amazing going forward. He had a discipline about him. He had a real discipline about him today. Tactically. He knew what his job was and he stuck to it. And that's so important. That's so important in football. Like, just doing your job first and then the other stuff will come. Andros Townsend is an absolute huge example of that so far. Of doing your job first and the extra stuff will come. And I thought what he did today, Anthony Gordon, was he just made sure it was hard for them to get forward down his side. But then when he needed to get forward, he did it. He was a threat. Put one great ball in. You just have to find that consistency to do that every single opportunity if he can. And I think knowing what to do, having that little bit of nous on the pitch is so important, where all the other things can follow on from that. If you can win your battle and then all the other things come. He's got pace, okay, he's still got to find that strength, but I think he's starting to understand the game now and what he needs to do on the pitch. And he'll get opportunities to come on. He might get opportunities to start like he did today, because the squad is so thin and he's got to take them. And I think today he took that opportunity. So he done really well for me today. I've given him a 7.5. He just needs to keep building on that now. And what you got to do, you got to have an effect on the game. You've got to have an effect on the game when you play it. You've got to understand that your job is not just to be attacking, and it's to stop your opposition. You got to earn the right, essentially. You got to earn the right to play football and to party. And I thought he did that today. So well done to him. Andros Townsend, I mean, he got the goal. He worked hard all game. I mean, the goal was just brilliant, because not only to keep going, keep up there, but great first touch and just smashed it in. No issues. Great celebration. He worked so hard all game. Off the ball, on the ball, attacking, defensive. He really is the complete package, and he's really took his opportunity to come to Everton and, show everyone that he is a good player. And that, I think he's wasted part of his career not doing the right things, maybe not having the right attitude, but it's certainly clicked at Everton. Really has clicked at Everton. So, it's clicked into place. I've given him a 9 for today, because obviously the goal. But he just worked so hard as well. And he's getting goals and assists in, like, nearly every game. But even if he wasn't getting goals or assists, he affects the game. He affects what's going on the pitch. And his attitude is infectious. It really is infectious. When he signed for nothing, a lot of people, including myself, were just like, "What?" Seemed like a bad made up Twitter rumor. But the manager knew exactly what he was getting. He knew exactly what he was getting when he brought him in. He's given him an opportunity, and where a lot of people were asking for, all the shiny things, the manager probably knew that there wasn't going to be the money to get all the shiny things, and it's worked a treat. Because I think, even if he wasn't scoring, he wasn't getting assists, he'd still be working hard, and he'd still be doing his job. So I thought he was immense today, and as I say, his attitude's infectious. There's not one Evertonian who doesn't really love him now, really like him as a player, or really love his attitude. So, fantastic. I've given him a 9. Damari Gray, 8.5. Never stopped running. Just all day. I think he'll be a lot of people's man of the match today. I've given it to Townsend because he was the difference. The goal was the difference. But the what he did for the goal was just incredible. Their corner, gets it, runs with it, doesn't give it away, doesn't give up on it as well. Plays a lovely ball to the corner. And that was him all day. He was always like on the break with the ball, running with the ball, not giving them a chance to take it off him, being strong in possession. I think a lot of people probably thought he was a bit flaky. Like, he was a good player, but he was always going to... But what he'd done at other clubs was always flattered to deceive. Well, so far, Rafa Benitez has gone in and gone, like, you're one of our main men. You're going to play wide, you're going to play as the number 10, and you're our main man. Take that responsibility. You're not going to be a bit part player. You're not going to go out the team if you have a poor performance or whatever. You're going to be our main man. And he's like Townsend. He's took the opportunity brilliantly. And so far, he's got he's controlled when he makes his runs. We all know he's fast, but speed without control is nothing. And been so impressed with him. I was so impressed with him today because he was always a threat. We could just play a little ball over the top today, and they were terrified. And I haven't seen that for a while, where you have that real greasy speed. Like Rocky was trying to get chasing chickens. We haven't had that for a while. It's something like we spoke about in summer, about just having someone who had real pace. There was a mention of, we mentioned people like Dan James and people like that. But Gray's really got it, and it's controlled as well. And I thought he was superb today because, as I said, he was always a threat. He got one. There was one in the second half where he broke into the box, and I think he just leaned on him. He couldn't quite get a real good connection with it. But they were terrified. They were absolutely terrified. And it's just so good to see players working hard and breaking and actually having a go with the opposition. So delighted. What a bargain those two players have been. Solomon Rondon, I've given him a 6. He was all right. Listen, he was all right. I think, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Richarlison would have been brilliant to have them out there today because of their movement, because they would have added something to those breaks. Rondon just basically stood and tried to occupy the centre-backs. And you know what? He was all right at it. His flick-ons, he held the ball up at times. His movement is non-existent. He had a hat-trick of chances in the first half. No, we should not be starting Dobbin before Rondon. Don't be stupid. We shouldn't be starting a kid who's had about 12 minutes who's got about 12 minutes of Premier League experience. Rondon showed all the experience today by just holding the ball up and just flicking the ball and occupying the centre backs. He gave them something to think about. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, of course, would have done miles better because of his movements and because he can occupy centre backs. But Rondon was okay today. Wasn't brilliant, wasn't terrible. Can't wait to have Don back and Richarlison back. But he did his job. He did his job. And that's why he stayed on the pitch. That's why he stayed on the pitch for it, and because the manager wants someone who's going to stay up there, and he can know that he can launch the ball to him and just get those little flick-ons. He's not a starting centre forward. We all know that. But the manager knows. The manager clearly knows. He didn't bring Dobbin on till the last minute. He brought Tom Davies on in the centre of the park for Andy Gordon, wasn't it? So the manager knows. Manager knows what he needs from his centre forward. Yeah. So I've given him a 6. Tom Davies, I've given him a 6.5. I thought he was fine when he came on. Thought he helped in the midfield without being brilliant. A couple of balls over the top. Obviously, people will get bogged down in the should he have shot, should he have passed, whatever. Fair enough. Yeah, that's fair enough. He was fine. He was fine when he came on. He gives an extra body in midfield. He was fine. He was fine when he came on. Obviously, Dobbin was only on for a minute, so can't say too much about him. But yeah, good performance. Got a point. Got a couple of weeks now to our next game, and we'll take that. So hopefully by the next game we'll have Seamus Coleman back, Dominic Calvert-Lewin back, with Richarlison back, Gomez back, and the squad will look a little bit rosier as we go into obviously a busy next period. There is another international break, isn't there, as well? Yeah. So let me know your thoughts in the comments on today's performance, your ratings. Make sure to give my instant match reaction a watch, Baz's match reaction, and Baz's 3 things. We will be live on Patreon on Monday to do the final word, the extended final word. Make sure you check that out. The links are in the description if you want to join us on Patreon. Why not? This is the perfect time. Beginning of the month is the perfect time to join us over on Patreon. So why not go and do that? Loads of content, exclusive videos, daily live videos. So why not do that? Thanks for watching. I'll see you later.